Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing good. So this is the second look into the HMD Skyline, which I initially reviewed about 6 weeks ago, and we have some updates with the more recent update that we received. But do take note, detox mode is not here yet. It's supposed to come in September, but with the quarterly update status for HMD Skyline, I'm not really quite sure whether we'll be seeing this in September or much later. Now with that said, HMD did improve the experience with the HMD Skyline, and I think this is something that a lot of potential buyers out there have been wanting to know. And you can read my articles on the Nokia Power User for the same, as well as what I'm going to show you here itself. So towards the end of the video, there will be camera samples, photo samples, and I do urge you to watch my initial review, initial camera and video samples, so that you can understand what are the changes and what are the things that needs to be improved with the HMD Skyline. Comes in 3 color options. I have the pink and the topaz blue here. There's also a beautiful black color one, but my personal favorite is the topaz blue. It reminds me of my Nokia N8, and this is carrying the same design language, the Fabula design here. Now the back has been said to be frosted glass back. Some have said this is plastic. I'm not really quite sure, but it's a durable one. And if you're worried that removing the back panel will sort of crack it, damage it whatsoever, no, it doesn't happen. Although you can actually pry it open with a guitar pick. It does bends a bit, but it goes back into place without any issue. So is it really glass? I'm not really quite sure. Now there's a camera island at the back, slightly elevated. Houses a triple sensor here, which is my key information that I want to share with this review. I'll get that much later, but the HMD Skyline comes with wireless charging capability. Qi2, first Android device to do that. Also supports wireless magnetic charging, similar to iPhone. And if you're wondering whether it will come into way of your wireless charging experience, if you're using an old school wireless charger like I have here, yes, it might. So you need to fiddle around so that it comes into contact in a certain point for it to do that. So as you can see, slightly elevated here. So for a larger wireless charger like this, where the back camera might come into way and you might need to fiddle around, but if you remove the panel, the island itself, the back island itself, and then you put it into the appropriate position, then it charges as it should. So the wireless charging coil is at the back, and this device also supports reverse wireless charging. All you need to do that is just go to the setting, go to the battery aspect, activate share power, and do take note, wireless charging coil is here. Place it a compatible device and it should start charging wirelessly. As you can see, light is blinking. There we go. So for those of you who are keen to know this beautiful earbud, this is actually made by HMD Global. Really beautiful, affordable, quality earbuds, and you do get a very good experience from this otherwise pretty much unknown earbuds out there. So really good quality earbuds by HMD Global. I urge you to try one. You will not be disappointed, and it also supports wireless charging case. So that brings us to the device itself. One of the best displays out there, 1000 nits of brightness, capable of HDR10 playback, POLED display, and 144 Hz refresh rate. So you can bump all the way to 144 Hz if you want to, and if you don't want, you can change to 120 Hz or even to 60, or just go to the standard mode at 60 Hz if you want to save battery. But 144 Hz is really buttery smooth in this device, as you can see. Now the Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 is pretty much more than adequate, among the most powerful setup we have at the moment. Definitely an elevated experience compared to the Nokia X30. Really complements the software experience on the device, which runs pretty much stock Android experience. For those of you who are concerned, yes, the Global and the UK unit comes with a Facebook app which cannot be uninstalled, but you can disable it. But once you disable, it just hides in the system. So something that you might want to know of. Now 1000 nits of brightness gets activated under bright lighting condition. You can't manually slide over to activate that, and there will be a notification showing ultra brightness is activated, so that's when it happens. But I did notice that with the current software, there is some bug that affects the sensor response. So it's sometimes too slow to respond, sometimes it just remains dark even in ultra bright situation. Sometimes the brightness is not maximum, so this is something that HMD should fix. The other issue is that this device has a wireless bug, so every time you restart the device, it doesn't connect back to the Wi-Fi that it was connected before, and that sort of ruins the experience because now you have to manually connect to the previously connected Wi-Fi. Now in terms of button, you got a volume rocker here, which is slightly elevated, and you got the very responsive fingerprint scanner embedded into the power button. But if you've come across similar device designs, this would just trigger unnecessary recognition, and it will fail, and then you have to go back to your manual or a different way to log in into your device. And the same experience is here. It's not actually quite a bug, but it's something that is inherent to this type of design. And two microphones, one on the top, one at the bottom, double speaker. I've shared the speaker experience of the device, definitely loud, and it does have this audio playback option, which actually is not a gimmick. It increases the audio quality and clarity, but it's limited to the speaker of the device. And if that is not enough, you can activate also audio boost. So audio boost feature is something that gets activated once it passes the maximum threshold, and this, while it's loud, the quality is not as good as the standard mode would be, so it's just ideal for communication purposes in noisy environment. Now the 1000 nits of brightness display, an OLED display with HDR10 is really beautiful, I would say. Unfortunately, despite being an HDR10 capable display, we don't get to experience HDR with the YouTube playback. And while you can play back 4K at 60 frames per second, as you can see here, there's no HDR playback. So this is something I hope that HMD will rectify, because otherwise it's just a ruined experience for most of us. So beautiful display, beautiful speaker, multimedia aspect of the device is really good. Now the battery life itself is quite excellent, I would say. Under moderate use, easily lasts a day. 33 watts of wide charging experience is consistent. So for overnight chargers like me, and I'm sure that most of us would probably have the same types of setting for our lives, the battery life is actually quite good. It charges relatively fast. You can even wirelessly charge, you can reversely wirelessly charge the device. So a lot of good things with the battery and the means of charging the device. So all in all, in terms of the telephone aspect of the device, in terms of multimedia aspect of the device, display, speaker, battery life, and the performance of the device, no complaint whatsoever. If you're into hardcore gaming, then yes, you might come into some issues, because the technically more demanding games might not be having a smooth playback, so you might need to reduce your setting. And I do note that the device gets slightly hot than usual, especially when playing games at an extended time. Now you do have a custom button here that I've shown you what the custom button can do, and depending on a long press or a short press, you can assign it to do different things. You can even activate the camera, but there's no two-stage shutter camera experience, if you're wondering if it does that. So that brings us to the highlight of the device, the camera experience of the device. So really promising camera setup. 108 megapixel sensor from Samsung with OIS, 50 megapixel telephoto, 30 megapixel ultra wide. And the telephoto and the ultra wide uses the 180 megapixel camera sensor for fusion purposes. So you do get somewhat of a hybrid input, which is supposed to be better. So all around a new camera experience with the new camera software. But as always, I'm a bit critical with how the camera is supposed to be, and I'll be sharing my experience here. So a lot of features here that I've shared before. Now, how has it changed? Now let's address the photography aspect of the device. I'll be sharing the photos here. I do urge you to see my previous example of the photos taken, and also see my more recent comparison with other devices in my Twitter. Now, day photography of the device is quite good, but it can be better, because I do notice that in terms of details, it tends to be slightly below that of the Nokia X30, and it has more noise, and this all boils down to how the binning algorithm is done. And I do hope that HMD improves this further. Color accuracy is definitely better than the Nokia X30, which tends to have a much more vibrant output, but it is not quite exactly as accurate as more premium devices. It does have some drawbacks, about 20% lesser than what you'll expect from a more premium device in that sense, but that's something personal and not really a deal breaker to me. In terms of night imaging, it's quite good. In fact, it's actually better than Nokia X30 in terms of details, and noise is much less, and the night experience is not ruined by much more vibrant output from the Nokia X30. Previously, I do sort of appreciate the more vibrant, more lively approach with the Nokia X30, but seeing the output from the HMD Skyline, I feel that the HMD Skyline nailed it in terms of capturing the night experience better than the Nokia X30. And one thing that I don't really quite enjoy with the HMD Skyline is indoor low light setting, where you don't use night mode, and this is where I noticed that the camera has a focusing issue. Now in low light situation or in indoor situation and at times, even in outdoor, I do notice there's a focus bug where while the object might appear to be in focus when you tap to focus, but the end results of the capture tends to be softer, and you'll notice that it's actually not quite there yet. So again, in terms of the sharpness and the details, I'm not really quite sure this is because it doesn't actually focus into what I want to focus, or it is naturally not meant to be as sharp as we want it to be. But definitely there's a focus issue. I'm going to share you a sample of the focus issue that I've captured, and all this is important so that HMD Global can continue to fix the known bugs that we've encountered with the current software. And this brings us to the video recording experience with the device, because previously the EIS was lacking. Now when it goes to video recording, you can record from all the 3 cameras at the back. Now 4K is limited at 30 frames per second, but 1080p can be shot up to 60 frames per second. You do have stability, the standard stability and the ultra steady option. But while the EIS works well in the standard capture, I do notice that the OIS aspect of the device causes jitteriness with each movement, and that sort of spoils the experience. There's also occasional frame drops with the primary camera. And in the ultra steady mode, there seems to be a consistent drop in frame, although there is EIS available. So that actually ruins the experience altogether. The video experience, I would say the primary is still acceptable, but the ultra steady capture is not quite there yet. So this is something that HMD Global has to polish further. So the front facing camera here is actually what I would say is an elevated experience compared to the Nokia X30 in terms of stability, in terms of the details, in terms of the features. This Skyline device is actually a brilliant device for those people who like to take selfies, to do vlogging. This is an excellent device for that. It has stability, it has 4K capture, and has a very natural approach to the skin tone and details, and a very robust camera software for the front facing camera. I have no complaints for the front facing camera at all. In fact, if I have to rate the experience of the front facing camera compared to the Nokia X30, which I already find is a very good front facing camera, I would say that the experience on the HMD Skyline is definitely twice as good as what you'll expect from the Nokia X30. And this goes the same for whether front facing stills or videography. So the only actual remaining issues here, other than the Wi-Fi bug, other than the lack of HDR10 playback from the YouTube videos, is the camera. In terms of the stability and the frame rate has to be fixed, and even now you can see that it's sort of struggling with the focus. So focus is definitely has to be fixed. So other than this, the HMD Skyline is pretty much a very reliable, good device, brilliantly built, brilliantly designed, vibrant color approach, and this is definitely a good start for HMD Global, provided that they continue to listen to end users' complaints and continue to improve to what seems like their flagship device of the year. I'll be definitely sharing my input regarding these issues with HMD Global, with the hope that they will rectify it further, and I do believe that they will rectify as they have done before. So with that said, I hope you like this video. Do share with your friends, probably repost this video, do share with more people so that more people are aware of the issues that they have, and they can check for themselves with their device and probably reach out to HMD Global. So with more input, we can get a better and faster solution. So till then, I hope to see you in my next one. Do stay safe and take care.